Welcome back, Wolfpack Rollers here, and when Ron said he was submitting me a Liepard battle, I thought it was going to be like doubles, because Liepard's a prankster shenanigan Pokemon, but no, this is singles. That's actually caught me a bit off guard, so now I'm interested. That's one of the ways you get my attention on a Fan Friday, so now I'm wondering what Liepard can even do in singles. Is this gonna be like swag play shenanigans and somehow knocks out the Mega Salamence? That'd be interesting. So we're gonna see what happens, and it is Donphan versus Wobbuffet. Another weird matchup because Wobbuffet could throw out the Encore, and now Donphan's locked, and then we get into a weird situation. But no, Wobbuffet going to throw out Counter. Alright, so Donphan going to use Knockoff right there. Knockoff going to be crazy amount of damage, but it is a critical hit. So with the crit, Wobbuffet loses its Shell Bell, loses whatever it had for Sustain, and Sturdy, Focus Sash. All these things are not good for counter Pokemon, so Wobbuffet had a pretty big disadvantage right now. And Donphan with the knockoff. What? Donphan does not get the KO with the back-to-back. That's just, oh man, I knew Wobbuffet was tanky. Like, that critical hit seemed like almost too much damage. But there it is, you know, knockoff, super effective, not getting the item boost, not having the crit, not enough damage to finish off the Wobbuffet, and there's the Earthquake. So Donphan decides to go for a trade instead of playing around with Destiny Bond, outstalling with like Stealth Rocks against the Wobbuffet. Decides to take the 1-for-1, but it is a beneficial 1-for-1. You know, the way we see it, we remove a threat like Wobbuffet, we trade, and we also have Stealth Rocks up. So, in all situations, that is a completely won opening matchup right there. So now Liepard enters the battle. Greninja going to take a little bit of damage from Stealth Rocks. Now, Greninja is a scary Pokemon, but normally it needs like super effective hits. So, this Ice Beam might not be okay. Never mind. That Ice Beam was enough to neutrally one-shot the Liepard, but with the Focus Sash does survive, gets the Nasty Plot off. Nasty Plot, which means it went after Greninja, so there's no Prankster, and Greninja's life leftovers. That wasn't even a Life Orb hit. And now Liepard's okay. What just happened? So, non-Life Orb Greninja enough to neutral, like, Liepard's a frail Pokemon. Now Salamence is on the field. So, the thing about this is, I think Liepard gets Unburdened. So Focus Sash Unburden with Nasty Plot is kind of like a Swords Dance Unburden, or Belly Drum, or some kind of crazy stat boosting into the Unburden, like if you have Hawlucha with Focus Sash into the Swords Dance, that does some craziness. And Liepard is going to go for the Dark Pulse. So Outspeed, Dark Pulse, Nasty Plot, Stab Hit, just Salamence is gone. And the battle's over. Okay, I'm still trying to catch up with what happened, but that was pretty crazy. So Liepard goes down to 1 hit points. The Nasty Plot, Stab, Dark Pulse is enough to neutrally one-shot the Salamence after Rocks. I wonder what the damage is without the Rocks. If it's still one-shot, it just shows that, you know, there's a lot of power right there. Liepard still, like, I would not have expected that. Like I said, you think Prankster, you think Setup, you think Shenanigans. It only has 88 base special attack, and it has 106 speed, so Unburdened with the 106 speed is ridiculous. You're not going to touch that, and that just shows something about Pokemon, really. When you look at the opponent, he had Greninja, very feared Pokemon, had Salamence, one of the most Mega Salamence, one of the most controversial Pokemon ever, and all it took was Liepard to take it out. So see, that's the thing about Pokemon. Pokemon isn't played in a vacuum. It's not like every time you're going to make a perfect prediction against the opposing incoming Pokemon, and then all this stuff goes wrong with the damage calculations and the Pokemon's unstoppable. We saw right there, Greninja isn't unstoppable, Salamence isn't unstoppable. In these 1v1s, you know, Liepard and Greninja came on the field at the same time, Liepard wins that game all day long. No Focus Sash to keep Greninja alive, and Liepard gets just enough damage to knock out Greninja. And after that, because the Unburden just sweeps through the Mega Salamence, one of the strongest Pokemon in the game to some people, just taken down by a Liepard that got a pretty easy setup. And Salamence, even in a 1v1, wouldn't have had much to do against it, because if it goes for Dragon Dance, it wastes the turn, Liepard still got Focus Sash, and then the game is over regardless. So, just think about Pokemon, that, you know, it's not playing in a vacuum, and you can get a lot of really cool stuff accomplished. And I wanted to see the Mega Altaria. Like, that could have been something else really interesting. For those of you guys that did want to see Mega Altaria, you are in luck, because Ron did submit that. So, let's go and load up that battle as well. So yeah, I should have actually been going on my little talk right there. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think that people that make arguments about counters and that's a reason to ban a Pokemon, they're just very, very flawed arguments. And we almost have this entered. Because yeah, Pokemon, anything can happen. That every battle is not binary. It's always not the same. So now we're going to maybe see Liepard fail, or we're just going to see a better setup state for the Altaria. And it is with the Raikou. So Raikou might be Calm Mind, really just crazy Pokemon stuff could be going on. And this is where things get cool. So, oh man, Raikou into the Mega Kangaskhan. And that is going to be Kangaskhan Mega Evolving, doing some kind of setup. What is Raikou going to do against it? Try to maybe get like a Calm Mind, tank a hit, and turn it into something. So Fake Out, and we're going to see if there is a lot of damage right there. So Raikou, ooh, oh man, that is, okay, maybe not tanky Raikou, maybe just all out damage or something. So that's going to be a Thunderbolt, going to get the outspeed, not going to need a Sucker Punch or anything like that. Gets a good amount of damage and the Paralysis onto Kangaskhan, and the full Paralysis takes Kangaskhan over. So that's going to be another Thunderbolt, and wow, Kangaskhan goes down like that. I was not expecting that. And that is one of those things where it is like the 1 in 100 hacks, you know, 10% chance into a 25% chance. Well, not 1 in 100, but you know, very, very small odds. And Raikou does not want to deal. Might be Spect or something with a high base speed, just for the most damage possible. Altaria comes in, Earthquake doesn't do anything, Mega Altaria hits the field, so now Earthquake does have a chance of doing something, just Dragon Fairy typing all over the place, and we finally get to see Altaria show up, and that's the Cotton Guard, so no damage, nothing, you know Steelix is going to be physical, even if it goes for like Curse setup or something, it's not going to be able to do too much. Ice Fang, super effective, 20 damage, 20 total damage, 1/9 of Altaria's health into the Flamethrower, no boosts, just straight, oh, and there's an explosion, so it's not even Mega Steelix, I thought it was going to be Mega Steelix, so Steelix comes in, would have survived on that Sturdy. Explosion, still not a lot of damage, but yeah, Cotton Guard in the Flamethrower. Looks like it might be an hit point special attack invested Altaria. No, not too overwhelmingly tanky. So Will-O-Wisp going to land onto the Altaria. I don't know what that's going to do. Like, you're supposed to lead with Drifblim. So Hyper Voice, so Pixelate Hyper Voice, not doing half. Drifblim showing some tankiness. Alright, Drifblim, you haven't let me down today. I'm happy about that. Ooh, and combos into the Hex. So, wow, alright. A little bit of damage. Altaria is still pretty tanky, getting some good damage. So Hyper Voice, ooh, gets a low damage roll into a high damage roll and finishes off the Drifblim from green. So yeah, that's just one of the crazy things, you know, Pokemon all over the place. So yeah, counter arguments, they just don't work because Pokemon, anything can happen, and it doesn't necessarily mean the Pokemon's bad or good. Also, at the same time, you can make an argument for almost any Pokemon. Medicham. Technically, Mega Medicham, no Pokemon can safely switch into it. It has no theoretical counters if it's running the perfect moveset against the perfect predictions. I guess ban it, right? Anyway, all that aside, Liepard pretty cool. Altaria, just really tanky, and a pretty shenanigan battle overall. So if you guys enjoyed this video, more Fan Fridays coming up.